Hey everyone, what's there not to like about this headline article out of Spiked? Yeah, it's a little bit harsh, a little bit abrasive, but very much to the point and definitely not politically correct. Headline out of Spiked: 2019, the year of peak green bullshit. Greta, Prince Harry, and Extinction Rebellion took the eco cult to new heights of madness. This being reported by Ben Pyle, December 30th, 2019. Well, I don't know about you, but I sure do hope that we have reached peak bullshit in terms of this whole green or environmentalist movement, which seems bound and determined to bring all of Western societies and cultures back to the Stone Ages, the Dark Ages, or living basically as a pure state of nature. Because apparently anything we do, whether it's breathing, driving to work, heating our homes, or buying groceries to feed us, that have been shipped here on carbon intensive transportation systems, yeah, we're supposed to negate and destroy all that human progress for the cult of environmentalism. I mean, what the hell is the human experience if we all got to live in dire situations, abstract poverty, or living back in the state of nature in the 21st century? The crazy part of it all is most of these people would consider themselves progressives and identify as such. What the hell, I ask, is progressive about heading back into the Dark Ages or strictly back to the state of nature? Sometimes I wonder and ask myself, has these folks ever actually watched what happens out in nature? That sounds good in theory, in some utopian, dreamt up concept where we all don't ever have to produce any carbon or expend any energy. But once again, like I say, for all those people who are proponents of living in a state of nature or denying modern advancements in technology and creature comforts, just at the very least, these people who are proponents of these green or environmentalist movements, at the very least, shouldn't we all require and request that they lead by example in some way? 2019 was the most extraordinary year of green bullshit yet. Despite the planet being a wealthier, healthier, and safer place than it was when fears of global warming first appeared on the political agenda in the 1980s, and despite the failure of more than half a century of green prognostications, crazy and destructive green ideas still dominate politics. In 2019, green doublespeak went mainstream. Harry and Meghan had intended to eco-signal by warning us about climate change. At the same time, they were hopping on private jets to stay in luxury villas. Despite attempts by some celebrities to defend the royal couple from criticism, newspapers across the world pointed out that actions speak louder than words. What Harry and Meghan's royal hypocrisy showed was that elite environmentalism is less about saving the planet than about telling people how to live and to know their place. The only true new thing that has emerged over the past year or so has been the phenomenon of Greta Thunberg and her school strike movement. For years, the Green Blob network of campaigning organizations, corporations, academics, and UN agencies have fantasized about mobilizing the young as a political force. After pumping billions of children full of green propaganda, a climate avatar has arrived in the form of a Swedish Trump activist. There could be no doubting the sincerity of the teen who bore the emotional scars inflicted on her by the movement that she was to lead. She had been so traumatized by green propaganda that she had not spoken, not eaten, and had refused to go to school. Environmentalism is nothing if not a cult of self-harm. Political, cultural, and religious leaders fell over themselves to be seen being scolded by the child. Unlike Harry and Meghan, Greta refused to fly. Instead of private jets, European royalty, millionaires, and superstars loaned her their sailing yachts and Teslas. To keep her own personal carbon footprint down, sailing crews and her entourage had to fly across the Atlantic. Politicians and campaigning organizations may have found it useful to hide their political ambitions behind children, but to many people, the emotional manipulation of impressionable minds is unconscionable. It has now emerged that the false stories that many of the children have fallen victim to, such as claims that charismatic creatures like walruses and polar bears face extinction, or that the world's rainforests face imminent collapse, are distressing young children and causing real harm. The school strikes may continue next year, but at some point parents will start to demand that organizations which have promulgated the lies that are damaging to children are held to account. And then it goes on to talk about the other environmentalist movement the Extinction Rebellion. Anyways, folks, I'll place a link to this article in the description of the video below. But once again, this is a perfect example where, yes, the green movement, just like the article is suggested early on, or the headline is, I'm really hoping that that green movement, that pretense, that's the thing, folks, not that I'm against environmentalism, but I'm reasonable, I'm pragmatic, and I'm a proponent of the free market, innovation, and ideas. And yes, I do rely on free people and innovation helping us with any situation or circumstance we find ourselves having to deal with. Using force, violence, big governments, forced wealth or income redistribution, and destroying entire segments or sectors of the economy, that's not the way to do it, folks. Well, unless, once again, you're all about a one-size-fits-all approach, or it's my way or the highway. That's the beauty of the free market, folks, is it doesn't have to be all about me or you. It's about the ideas, the concepts, the whims and the wishes of millions or ultimately billions of people around the world. I'll take that kind of diversity over the one-size-fits-all approach that these collectivists, that these cult leaders or cult followers are trying to impose on us. Why? Because once again, not only am I pragmatic, but I'm also a critical thinker. And I understand the human species, psychology, and how the incentive structures properly work. It's Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.